Braindead and North Face have come together for what I believe is their second collaboration, releasing this Friday, August 28th. It will be available on the North Face website only to VIP members, I believe, which are just people who have signed up for their mailing list, but will be available there at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or at least that's what I read from the source that I was looking at about the collaboration. I actually checked their Instagram and it didn't say anything about a specific drop time. But anyway, moving over to Braindead, they will also be releasing it at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So the North Face drops an hour earlier. I said 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, but Braindead 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time would actually be 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so there will be an hour difference there. Anyway, I think there's a lot of variety in this collection that spans 15 pieces we will be looking at. Some of them are just different colorways, but with that being said, we will jump into it. And the first piece are the Braindead North Face shorts. In their first collection, which I believe dropped about a year ago, we also saw a lot of this all over print where we just have the Braindead logo and then the North Face logo just kind of meshed in to make up this all over print. Usually I'm not a fan of a lot of all over prints, but I do kind of like this. They have it rotated a bunch, and I think the logos mesh well together. We will see it on some other pieces. To talk a little bit more about the shorts though, usually I'm not crazy about the ones that have the built-in belt like this, but I do like that design, so maybe depending on the price point, if they're not too high, I could go for these. And to talk a little bit more about the price point, since this is only the second collection that they've done, or I believe this is the second collection that they've done together, we have a lot of new silhouettes, so it's kind of up in the air what the prices are going to be, or to me at least. But looking back at the previous collection, we had t-shirts going for about $70 retail, and then the jackets that they did were $350 retail. But you know, once again, a lot of the silhouettes we have this time around are new, so it's different jackets as well as different t-shirts this time too. It's not just a regular blank, so a lot of that is probably going to change. Moving on, we have probably my favorite piece, the pattern fleece, which once again makes use of that all over print. I really like the yellow detailing that goes into this. I think it works really well with all the other colors going on. And as far as materials go, it looks like the main portion with the all over print is kind of this Sherpa material, whereas the underside of the collar is like a nylon, and the same with the cuffs, kind of looks like a little bit of a nylon material. Moving on, we have the bucket, which also makes use of the all over print, which, you know, we will see on the majority of the pieces, at least somewhere on it anyway. And also interesting, in the front we have this mesh pocket. You can see the zipper on the side there. I think this is a cool piece, maybe a little bit more quiet than the other ones, although, you know, it does have this big all over print. I think the colors are more towards just like one, you know, that blue, and there's not too much going on as far as like mismatching colors in that sense, but a cool piece nonetheless, and hopefully on the cheaper side as far as the pieces go. Next up, we have a jacket coming in a navy colorway. I think we will see this in another colorway as well later. Probably the most notable things about this would be the mesh pockets, you know, very similar to the bucket hat we just saw, and then underneath you have that all over print, and then also on the side we have these big patches, and I believe there is a print on the back that we will see on the other colorway that we do of this later. But to talk a little bit more about this, the collar is actually a very nice corduroy. It might be difficult for you guys to see, but it's like a very nice and thick corduroy, which I always enjoy getting that corduroy collar on a piece. I think this is cool, though I'm not crazy about the patches, and I might have preferred it more if it was more of a chore coat where the pockets were a lot lower and went through that style rather than kind of like the cargo, like midsection placement of them. Moving on, we have a t-shirt coming in a green colorway, kind of an interesting cut and sewn piece where it's almost like paneled like a jersey, where you have the sleeves coming in at an angle across the chest. But yeah, that being said, you know, I'm not crazy about this piece. It's pretty simple. You have the Braindead logo, and then around it you have like something about Braindead. That's kind of the blurry text that you guys probably won't be able to see, and then obviously the North Face logo on the chest placed there as well. But I think these are all right, but I feel like they'll probably be a little bit higher priced t-shirt. Next up, we have our first look at a fleece, and this view doesn't give us too much to go off of. Just looks a lot like one of those Patagonia ones where you have kind of like the half button up. Though we do have a Braindead patch on the sleeve, which is kind of the interesting detail that we can see from this view. As far as the colorways go, I'm not crazy about this colorway. It does come in a red one that we will see that I do much prefer. Next up, we have the large bag, which is a duffel bag, backpack, like combo thing, which I think looks really cool. You have some interesting colorways. They got that like light purple mixed with the yellow, which I think works well and looks nice. Then you also have a bunch of branding on it. You got the Brain Dead logo with a couple iterations on it. Next up, we have the red version of that fleece we just looked at, and you get a view of the back, which has this Stamp Out Reality embroidery on it. And then you get a better look at that patch as well, which looks like a nylon patch that has the Brain Dead logo. And then also we see the same kind of text wrapping around that logo that we saw on the t-shirt. I will say I like this colorway a little bit more than the green, though neither of them are really doing it for me. Moving on, we get another look at that jacket we saw, but this time in a white colorway. And I really like the colors used in this one a lot more. Though just because it's like all white, I probably wouldn't get it. I'd probably be scared to like stain it and just ruin a super expensive piece. But I love that green corduroy collar. I think that's crazy. It looks beautiful. Like you can just see the light kind of like shining off the corduroy on it. Looks beautiful. I also like the orange taping, you know, almost reminiscent of like some Heron Preston or something like that. Next up, we have another piece that I'm a really big fan of. This is just the shirt. You notice that it's got this like taped seam full zip on the chest. You also get some like chore coat pockets on the bottom, as well as some chest pockets, which don't have the mesh or translucent appearance to them like the chore pockets do. I think this one's really cool. You know, I've said I'm a fan of this all over print, and I really like that orange taping. This, you know, makes use of everything I've said I liked about this collection so far. So of course I am a fan of this, and I do like the short sleeve, you know, button ups. Obviously this is a zip, but I like this. I think this is a really nice piece. As far as bags go, we also have this pouch which has like a drawstring enclosure. On the side you get this frog with his tongue sticking out, and then on the top it has brain, on the bottom it has dead. And I think this does come in a couple more colorways, though all we're seeing today is this kind of orange one. I want to say I did see a leak that made use of a different colorway, but I really don't have any use for this. You know, a lot of these pieces are meant to be used like in like a hiking climate or these like extreme conditions that a lot of North Face products are built for, because these are, you know, just that. It's a North Face collaboration. Next up, we have this crazy parka, which, you know, I haven't been a fan of this green, and I still don't like it here, though it is much more tolerable, I think, in my opinion. But it is used for the tape seam all along the jacket, and then also looks like the liner uses the same green color. Pretty simple. It's just what we've been seeing so far from this collection, similar to the zip shirt that we just looked at. It has the chest pockets as well as kind of like the chore coat area region lower pockets as well that make use of that mesh, so you can see inside it, or a translucent material. We also have it coming in a white colorway, which I much more prefer, how that yellow stands out on the tape seam and for the accents. And then interestingly, they use, instead of the yellow for the liner, they use the navy from the kind of secondary color of the colorway for the liner. I think this is a really cool piece though, and undoubtedly it's going to be super expensive. The last jackets were like $350. This being a parka, I would assume it to be like, you know, upwards of $400. We also have the long t-shirt, which looks really dumb just like by itself because it's so long, like not on somebody. I think it looks really dumb, especially, you know, you could probably layer this and make it look cool, but just like as it stands, it looks really stupid. We also have another female-based product, the skirt, which I think is really cool, though the cut of it could have been a little bit shorter. I'm not crazy about those like super long skirts, and I think this one is on the longer side. But, you know, once again, we just have the mesh pockets or translucent pockets, and then the all-over print that we've been seeing. The zippers have the like yellow tabs, which I like, and then it makes use of the built-in belt, which has that baby blue color that we saw on the other shorts. So this just makes sense with the collection. It's not a bad design. I think it's cool, and it's definitely an interesting silhouette, to say the least. So that concludes the pictures that I have from the collection. We could see some more colorways or possibly even some more products. I think this is probably all the products, but like I said, you know, maybe some more colorways. I really like this collection. What do you guys think of this collection? Personally, I think it's, you know, better than a lot of the Supreme North Face collaborations that we've been seeing. I will say I think leaning on this all over pattern so heavily is a little bit concerning, especially when the first time around they also used it. So It'll be interesting to see if they use it next time, which is, you know, kind of whack. Like, it'd be cool if they just made up new patterns or found new ways to collaborate and make their pieces look as fresh as possible. But that's pretty much all I got for you guys. I like this collaboration. I think there will be some decent resell on some of the pieces. But with that being said, thank you for watching. As always, I will catch you in the next video.